Hi there, it's Mark Sabatella from Mastering MuseScore here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a tour of my studio. I want to show you a bit about how it's put together in case you want to try to do anything at all like this yourself. And so I'm going to be showing you some of the hardware that I'm using, some of the software that I'm using, and this is the state of how I'm doing things as we enter 2022. It's developed a lot over the years. I've added things to it and kind of refined things, and I'm really looking forward to showing you how it's put together here. So the first thing I want to do is just point out, well, what it is that you're seeing here. You're seeing this video, right? You see my face, you see my hands on the keys, and yes, I can play the keys and it's all there, right? And you can see my screen. You're looking at MuseScore right now. So you can, whatever's on my screen can be showing up. So you can see all three of these things together. And the software that makes that possible, that sort of assembly of three different things, I'm going to come back to this in a little bit, but it's what we're now looking at, OBS Studio. This is free open source software that lets you say, hey, look, I'm going to have my picture over here from the webcam. I'm going to have a screen share over here, and I'll have another camera over here, an overhead camera on my keys. So I'll show you how all those things fit together. So OBS is kind of what's driving all of this. And so I'll come back to this in a minute after I kind of show you some of the hardware that's involved. So to show you the hardware that's involved, I'm actually going to flip over to a quick little video that I put together showing you the space. So this is the space itself. I'm not sitting in that bench right now when I shot this video because I'm shooting it, but I promise you that is the bench I am sitting on right this very second as I record this. So this is the setup. You see I've got my digital keyboard here. It's a Yamaha P125. I got my Microsoft Surface Pro 6 sitting on top of it, and I've got some lighting, microphone, a mixer, got another webcam up here, got lots of different things. So let's take a look at these things one at a time. So the first thing I'm going to do as I zoom in here is just show you that yes, in fact, OBS is what I'm normally running while I'm kind of doing these things. There's me, you can see me there. Hi Mark. You want to wave? Yeah, there we go. That's me. Okay, cool. So that's OBS, and that's what's running on the computer and kind of helping organize all of this. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you here is my mixer. This is a Yamaha AG03 mixer. And the thing is, you might think, oh, all mixers are the same, and to some extent, well, they have a lot of things in common. Yes, but this one is a little bit unique. It's one of the few mixers of its type that can do what's called loop back. And loop back is what enables me to take the output from MuseScore, route it into the mixer, along with my voice, which is being routed into the mixer, along with what's coming out of my digital piano. They're all being routed into the mixer and then back into the computer. And so that I'm able to take these different sound sources, my microphone, the keyboard, and MuseScore's output, or whatever music you might be playing on your computer. They all go into the mixer and then back into the computer. And so that loopback feature it's not unheard of. There are other devices that can do that, but not all mixers, not even most mixers will do that. So this is a nice, simple little USB-powered mixer. So there's no plug-in, no wall socket involved here. It's all just getting its power from USB. It's doing everything by USB. So I like this mixer a lot for that purpose. Now, beyond the mixer, let's show you some of the other stuff that's going on here. So the keyboard itself, as I mentioned, it's a digital keyboard, and this is the Yamaha P125. And as far as that goes, all digital keyboards are essentially interchangeable as far as this goes. But I wanted to mention the digitalness of it because it's a little bit significant here, because it means that my microphone is not picking up the sound of this keyboard. There is no sound. Someone who's standing outside my office right now would only be hearing my voice. They wouldn't hear any of the music. That's why I'm wearing headphones here. So this is great in an environment in which you need a little sound isolation, where you need that kind of privacy. If this is a studio in which you've got a grand piano and you don't mind having the microphone pick up that grand piano as well as your voice, that's great. I'm not in an environment where I can be putting out that kind of sound. So for me, the digital piano was the way to go, and that's one of the reasons I'm using the mixer the way I am. So that's my digital piano setup. And oh, by the way, the digital piano is also capable of running MIDI input into MuseScore or other software. I don't tend to use that feature very often, but it's available. It's a nice side benefit, perhaps, of using a digital piano. Okay, slight rant here also. I love grand pianos. I love the sound of them playing live. I'll pick it every time. But for recording a video, by the time you put a microphone into the picture and now the microphone has to pick up that grand piano and you have to position that microphone just so and have a good enough microphone and run it in, to some extent you're better off with a digital. You'll get good results easily. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to get great results with a grand piano recording. Absolutely you can. You will if you put the effort into it. But simplicity's sake, you can often do better with a digital. Just saying. All right, so what else do we have here in my studio? Well, we've looked at the mixer. We've looked at the keyboard. Let's look at my lighting for a second, because that's what I chose to focus on. So what you see right now is just a desk light. I mean, this is just a stand light that's sitting on the floor pointing at a photo reflector. And then I've also got over here a lamp. Why do I have this? Just to give me even lighting on my keys. Without them, the lighting is a little disappointing, right? The lighting on my keys no longer is good. So that's a function of your space and how the lighting is. This was my low-tech solution. I already had that photo reflector from my days doing photography, and that was just the lamps I already had. Okay, so that is all I have special as far as lighting goes, and probably I could continue to tweak that. Now let's look at this bad boy here. This is the microphone that you are hearing me speak through right now. This is, I gotta look at the model number, it's a Tascam Tm80 microphone. Is it special? Well, no, not really. It's an inexpensive microphone. It's under $100, and it comes with its own XLR cord. It comes with this really nice shock mount that you see in the that you see here in the video, and it comes with a little tripod stand that's not really useful at all. A little tiny little, sit on your desk tripod that can't even hold its own weight. But yeah, for the price and what it does come with, it was a great choice. There's other great choices. What it is, though, is an XLR microphone as opposed to a USB microphone. And this is a significant choice because if it was a USB mic, I couldn't plug it into my mixer, right? My mixer can only take audio inputs. It can't take a digital input. Someday, maybe, right? Someday maybe there will be mixers, small little portable handheld mixers that you can go to Best Buy and pick up that will have a digital USB mic input. Today is not the case. So you definitely want an XLR microphone if you're going to be needing to mix that with other input sources, other audio sources. Like I said, I've got my computer audio from MuseScore. I've got my digital piano output all being mixed together. So I needed it to be an XLR as opposed to a USB mic. There's another question that always comes up here of whether it's a condenser or a dynamic mic. And there's some amount of religious debate about this. And there's a perception that dynamic mics pick up less background noise. Without going into the technical aspects of it, I will say that is not technically true. It's about distance from the mic. A dynamic mic encourages you to have it right up to your face, and therefore it will pick up less background noise. But that's only because it's right up against your face. A condenser mic right up against your face would behave the same way. But this microphone is not right up against my face. It's about a foot away as I'm talking to you because I didn't want it on camera. So if you're going to have it a foot away anyhow, having a dynamic mic doesn't do you any favors. It just means you have to turn up the gain more and you're going to pick up just as much background noise. So anyhow, that's my little little rant about that. So what else can I show you? So that's my microphone. The next thing that I could show you is just that it's sitting on a fairly inexpensive kind of scissor stand that lets me kind of swing it, position it just so, and I have it positioned, so that it's right at my mouth level, just out of reach of both my webcam and my overhead cam. So, overhead cam, let's talk about that. here it is. This is just a cheap little webcam that's really meant for people who maybe have a desktop computer system that doesn't have a built-in webcam. So it's designed to clip onto your monitor. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job. This is how come you can see my hands on the keyboards right now. It's this overhead camera, and it's attached to a boom stand, just a microphone boom stand that's set to position it directly over the keys. And by positioning it directly over the keys and trying to get it as kind of parallel and direct as possible is how I'm able to get the keys to look relatively even. I mean, if you really pay attention, you can probably see the keys on the end are a little distorted compared to the keys on the end because of the angle of the camera. It's not a perfect setup. If you compare the lighting on one side of the keyboard because of the room lighting combined with my lighting that I've got here, there's a little inconsistency in the lighting, but I don't care that much. So that's kind of what's going on hardware-wise here. So that webcam there is connected into my computer, and so then let's talk a little bit about, let's come back to talking about OBS and what actually is combining all these things. So when I flip over to OBS, now what you see is a window in which you can kind of edit. They're called scenes. And so I have a scene here that's defined to have my webcam, my built-in webcam, the one built into the Surface Pro, the one built into my computer. This is what's here in the upper right. The overhead webcam is what's giving me this. And you can see that I've kind of cropped the image from that webcam so that it's only showing the keys and like an inch in front of the key here, so that when my hands are here, you can kind of, because if it only showed the keys, it would kind of cut off part of my hand. So I find it a little more effective to show an inch or two in front of me. But yes, you can totally fine-tune the cropping of that, but I cropped it so that it's showing exactly the keys and pretty much nothing else. And then I have another part of my scene here. So there's basically three elements to my scene. This is the screen share part. Oh, and I have another part of my scene, which is the logo up here in the corner. And also all of this is just there. And when I say it's just there, I mean this isn't post-processing. All I do is fire up the program and boom, it's there. And I can do this, like right now I am recording this video. All I did was hit this start recording button there. It says stop recording now because when I hit it, it will stop the recording. But, and actually it's hooked up to a keyboard shortcut even. So when I hit that shortcut, it started recording. But I can also, instead of recording, send it directly to YouTube via live stream. So when I do my music masterclass, for instance, that's what I do. I fire up OBS and hit the start streaming button instead of the start recording button. And then it sends it directly to YouTube live stream. And then there's also a start virtual camera button. Now this one's kind of cool. This is kind of the sleeper of the setup. But what it really means is if I fire up another program like, say, Zoom, instead of using my webcam to show me, I can use this. In other words, everything we see on the screen here becomes like a virtual camera in Zoom. So if I join a Zoom meeting and use this as my virtual camera, people won't just see my face. They will see this whole setup with the screen share and my keys and everything. So again, if I flip over to MuseScore, it's maybe a little nicer looking because you get tired of seeing that, picture within a picture within a picture thing. But so I can join a Zoom meeting and specify this as my camera. And so I don't even have to screen share to Zoom, right? I don't have to have permission from the meeting host to share my screen or anything like that. This is just my camera. And that's not just Zoom. I can do the same thing on any other platform that lets you pick which camera that you want to show. You just pick the OBS virtual camera. So I can have this same nice setup here with a screen share, my face, and the keys. I can have that same setup whether I'm recording, broadcasting to YouTube, or participating in a Zoom call. It's really kind of a nice setup. And the thing is, that's one scene that I set up, but it's not the only scene. So right now, the reason you're seeing the picture within a picture within a picture is we're seeing the screen share, and the screen share is showing OBS, which is showing the screen share, which is showing OBS, which is showing the screen share, which is showing OBS. But if I change this, like I have another setup right now that's 2 camera only. This scene here, I'm about to click the 2 camera only button. Now that I've clicked that button, I still see OBS. I'm still looking at OBS. But I think you're not seeing it now, right? You're just seeing the 2 cameras. You're seeing me centered now kind of at the top half of the screen, and you're still seeing the keys. If I come back to the scene that I did at first, which was the screen plus the 2 cameras, you see it all. And you see I have other variations of things. I've got another one where I don't show the keys. It's just the screen and the webcam. And I got various other different versions of it set up. So those are the things that I have set up, and software-wise, the great thing is this is all free software, right? OBS Studio, totally free, open source software. MuseScore, that is what you first encountered. That's free open source software as well. So the software is free. Now the hardware costs money, but it's not expensive. The digital piano is by far the most expensive part of this setup, and you very likely already own one. The mixer was like maybe about 150 or so. The microphone was maybe 60. The webcam, the overhead cam there it was under 100. I don't remember exactly. Got it as a gift. And, they're just cheap, under $100 for the stands and all. So, just a few $100s worth of hardware to get all of these things set up, and zero investment in software, and you end up with a setup that's actually quite professional, that lets you do things like I did here, where I was able to play you some music, talk over the music, and by gosh, even play over the music, right? I can do all of these things, and with my mixer, I can bring the music up and bring the music back down. It's a mixer, right? It does all mixer-y sorts of things. So anyhow, this is the setup that I have going here at Mastering MuseScore for 2022. And I'll have links in the description where you can check out all the individual things that I'm talking about, and there'll be affiliate links, so if you do buy anything, I get some little something out of it. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope this helps you bring your own online teaching studio to the next level.